Welcome in. We are so excited that you are going through this training with us here at North Star Bridge. And you know what? We wanted to take just a couple of minutes to talk about some of the most important things about your outreach. And so right now we're going to discuss how to get food to an outreach. You know, one of the biggest parts of it is, where is all of this food going to come through? It's not just going to appear out of thin air, but it's going to take some work. And there are some creative ways for you to get some food, but there are also some of the most practical things as well. You know what? If you're a smaller church, one of the greatest resources that you have is your people. If you know it or not, your people, they want to be involved. Get them off the bench and participating in your outreach. Ask them, next time you go to the store, hey, would you consider picking up some extra items? Here is a list of things that we need to hold our next food outreach. Another idea that you may want to try out is going to your local grocery store. You know what? All around our cities, there are local stores that would love to partner with you and your church to reach the people of their community. Call them up, ask to talk to their management, and you would be surprised at the outpouring that they want to help reach people in their community. The next thing that you might want to consider is donations from large companies. I think about Walmart's and Sam's, Costco's, even non-food related entities like Home Depot and different large corporations. They have funds set up for their local communities for them to give a certain amount. But the one thing about doing this is that you have to pre-plan. You have to talk to them well in advance, because they have a set budget and you don't want to come to them after that budget is already used up. So plan ahead. Go to them maybe towards the beginning of the year and talk to them. What is it that we need to do to get on the list to receive your community grants? Another idea is through your local food bank. You know what? I think about, even here in the state of Oklahoma, we have 2 food banks. We have one in northeast Oklahoma, and we have one in the central part of the state that feed the entire state of Oklahoma. Where you're at, there are probably food banks that would love to partner with you and help out to reach their community. And I think of religious food banks and also non-religious food banks. Don't just call one. Explore all of the options that you have. And then the last thing is, of course, donations from government agencies. There are programs that our governments, both local, state, and federal, all have programs for people that are in need to get the help that they need in that moment. And so explore what it is that you have to do to get on a program with them. I think about FEMA and USDA, and you might also ask and look up what your state emergency management operation is and how you can get in touch with them to reach and resource your outreach. Some things that you might want to think about as you're approaching all of these different entities is this: never underestimate the logistics to store, to transport your food, especially when it's perishable. You know, I think about when you want to do a food outreach and somebody has a donation of produce, or maybe they have a donation of chicken or other things that need and require either refrigeration or to be kept frozen. You want to take that into consideration and plan out how are those things getting from point A to point B for your outreach. You know what? You might want to think about getting those things to your event as soon as possible, maybe a few hours right before. That way they've stayed the freshest that they possibly can be. And then after your outreach, reach back out to those that partnered with you, those that sponsored your outreach. If it was a local grocery store, if it was a food bank that you partnered with, reach back out to them and tell them how great it went. Send them some photos. Send them some encouraging things that happened at that outreach. Give them numbers that back up what you did on that day, because they want to know what they did made an impact in the community. And then as you're asking them to partner with you, think about this. Plan ahead for the paperwork, the documentation that's going to be required whenever you're asking them. Don't just call them up and say, oh, well, I can get it to you later. No, have those things ahead of time. That way when they ask you, hey, do you have this or do you have that, that you have it right there in front of you. And be prepared to answer questions. Be prepared to answer some questions. Before you call a potential donor, make sure that you are prepared. Do your homework. Know exactly who you're speaking with. Know the company that they are representing, and be prepared for whatever they may ask you. They may ask you this: where can I find out the financial information for your nonprofit? You know what? This is a question that many large entities, large companies, they may ask you, where can I find financial information out? And you need to understand how that works and where you can get your hands on it so that they can get their hands on it. Maybe you have it reported on your website each and every year. Maybe it's something that you have that your business office can prepare for you, that you can have beforehand. But be prepared for that question. Another one is this: how can I give to your charity? Maybe they're a partner that they don't have a large entity that they can give you just gift in kind, where they can supply you with food or things like that, but they want to give you resources in the form of cash donations. And be prepared. How can I give? Know how it needs to come. If it's a check, who do I make the check out to? If it's an online gift, how do they give online? Where's the link at? Maybe you send it to them in an email or a text message, but let them know exactly the way that they need to give online so it's easy for them. And then this: can I count this as a charitable contribution on my tax return? Many organizations, they want to know that right away, because they know that if they give something, that in the end that it counts towards their charitable donation. And you want to be prepared to let them know that you are a registered nonprofit, that you have your federal tax ID number ready for them to take down so they know exactly where their donation's going. They may even want to look it up before they give. And so you want to know that you have all the information that they may ask for. And then speak with your accounting department, your tax specialist, about what donation can be written off and how it can be for their organization. For instance, if their company can show that they have sponsored an event, you can show and advertise. That could be a potential write-off for them. And be ready to be helpful and beneficial in everything that you do. The next thing is this: how can you make them sure that their donation isn't going towards salary? Tons and tons of organizations out there, they want to help, but they want to make sure that the money, the resource that they're giving is going straight to the community, straight to the people that are in need, and not going to pay for overhead. And so have a clear and direct way that you can assure them that the funds that they're giving is going completely to fund the outreach that you are trying to put on for your community, and that none of it will go towards the overhead of your organization. Some documents that you probably will need before you make these phone calls is this: that you'll need, of course, the legal name of your organization. You'll need to know how to donate to your organization. The EIN number that I talked about, you'll want to make sure that you have that on hand, ready to give that to them. The amount donated to your organization. If it's somebody that's already given before, and you can call them up and you can say, thank you for how much you've given in the past. We so appreciate partnering with you in everything that you've done. And they'll know how big a partner they've been to you in the past as well. And then report on previous activities that you've done, previous engagements that you've had in the community. Tell them, hey, because of your last outreach, we were able to reach this many people. We were able to impact this many families with this many pounds of food. And it goes a long way establishing the track record of who you are and what you've done in the community. And so you may say, those sound like wonderful things, but how do I ask for a donation? How do I even approach that subject with them? I'm glad you asked, because through the training, we have put together a sample of how you can approach business leaders, how you can approach management of corporations to say, sir, ma'am, we would love to partner with you. Who do I need to speak with? That's the first thing. Whenever you call someone up, establish who it is that you need to speak with first. Maybe it's a manager, maybe it's a regional manager, maybe there is a specific part of the company that you need to talk with about benevolence. So you call them up and you say, hello, my name is, and I'm with North Star Bridge, for instance. We are an organization that provides food for families in need, especially in times of economic concern. We provide food for people who have become unemployed, homeless, or just need food because of an economic crisis. And I was wondering if you could get me in touch with the person who's in charge of your benevolence or donations for your organization. It starts out with just that simple paragraph, just communicating to them who you are, who you're a part of, and what it is that you do as a basic mission of your organization. The second part is this: introduce yourself to the person who's in charge of donations. Hello, my name is. You'll start back over again. Why? Because you're creating a repetition with them of who you are in the organization that you're working with and what you do. And you're going to explain to them that you're an organization that delivers food to people that are in need, especially a need like we look at right now in the current pandemic, where so many people have had their lives turned upside down. And so you're going to just give them a refresher of who you are and what you're doing. And have this, if we can partner together, if we could just come together, we could reach our community, laying it out to them that it's about something much bigger than just you receiving a donation, but it's about countless people receiving a need that they have in this moment. And so tell them, my goal today is this. Number one, to learn, is this something that you do? Is this something that you can help with? And number two, we would also like to learn what documents you might need for your consideration in this project. And then reassure them that you intend on being a great partner, that you intend on fulfilling everything that you've already told them that you're going to do. That this isn't just me looking for a handout, but this is me looking to give somebody a hand up in this time of their life. I realize that there are many organizations that you could partner with and that you can work with, but I want to make sure that you know that we're a great partner, that we've already had this track record laid out, and reassure them that you are going to be in their community for years to come because you love their community, because you see an awesome potential for the people that live in it. And then ask them, what is your process for consideration, making a charitable gift to an organization? Make sure that you write down notes, that you're listening to what they're saying. Make sure that you get exactly who you're speaking with, because you're going to want to follow up with them. You're going to want to be able to have a track record that you're the person that they talk to each and every time, because you're building a relationship with them for years to come, that they'll see that you are good ground, that this is a good seed going into their community. And then politely thank them for their time and take the necessary follow-up steps. What it is that you need to do to follow up with them. If it's documentation, that you've got it all in order and that you're ready to present it to them. If it's an email that they need, maybe you need to go into the company and you need to actually sit down with them, schedule a meeting with them, and hand them paper copies of all of the things that they're asking to see. But make sure that you follow up with them and let them know that this wasn't just a one-time call and you just forgot about it, but this was something that you took seriously, and that this was something that could impact their community for months and years to come. Thank you.